Okay, we got a video for a new killer in the budget range. It's $35. It's tuned really well. That's the graph right there. We'll talk about that in a little while. This is the set right here. It comes in 4 different colors: the green, the purple, the red, and the blue. This is the box. It's called the Cadenza. The build quality on this is very nice in the hand. It's a kind of a dense plastic resin feel like the original, the last Kiwi ears that I had in my hand. It's very much like that, whereas a lot of the budget stuff that's in the $20, $30 range it's fairly toy type plastic. This doesn't feel like that at all. Let me go ahead and scoop this out real quick. This also has a flush 2-pin, which is something that I really like to see, because all of the 2-pin cables that I have, some of them are very nice, will fit with this, where some of the extended ones or the slightly recessed ones can be a problem. This one feels like a more expensive set than $35, which is part of the whole why I'm hyping it. And then there's the tuning, which is over there. So it comes in 4 different colors. It comes with a nice cable, of course, a flush 2-pin. Let's take this out real quick. Might fast forward this, I'm not sure. Pretty standard. It's L type with the curve on it. It's a decent cable, and it's also got no Velcro on it that's going to rip into my shirt, so that's nice. It comes with 3 sets of tips. Red core, regular whites, and not sure what these are. One of these are probably wide bore, so you get plenty of tips, a decent cable, a nice build quality, and good tuning for $35. Let's take a look at that tuning. That is a sub bass over mid bass. It's slightly tighter in the mid bass than my own target, which is probably ideal for a lot of people. Gets down into mids by 300 hertz, has a nice short porch, gets to the gain, and has a long, slow, gradual gain that's very similar to lots of stuff in lots of price ranges, including the Elysian X, which is $4,000. In its general tonality, from the sub bass to the upper mids, I believe they're identical. So I would say the tuning is quite mature. It's got the peak at 3K, and then it's coming down. This is pretty much accurate as it's aligned at about 8K. Then it's got a fall off, not too much, and it starts to pick itself back up around 12 kilohertz, and it's got late energy going out to about 15 before it falls away. The tuning is quite nice. I'm going to talk about some music, how it replays my library. If you don't want to get into that, do I recommend this set for $35? I do, because the tuning is mature. It does low frequency instruments in a authentic way. It does not get in the way of vocals at all. Vocals sound nice. Female vocals sound very good. The driver sounds like it's got it's of high quality. I'm getting good resolution. The build is different from a lot of the sets that are in the price range, because it's got a resin-like plastic that I usually feel in my hand. You get thousands of these things a year, and you pick them in your hand, and some of them feel so light and they feel like kids' plastic. It doesn't really matter if it plays sound, it doesn't break, but this was different. And when I got it in my hand and I held it, and then I looked at the very budget box delivery, I was confused, because I know the brand Kiwi ears and it was more expensive before, and this shell is like that expensive set, yet it's very Spartan in its delivery. So send a message, I'm sorry, how much is this again? And then waiting and make it affordable, and then they said 35. Okay, let's go. So I'll talk about some music. Wrecked, easy wreck, and it's got a beryllium coated driver, which turns out really well, more often than the pure berylliums in like the Final Audio and other sets where I think it just didn't work out. Some of the beryllium coated sets turn out a lot better than the pure ones, in my opinion. So let's talk about some music. It's wrecked, easy wreck. Mash the buy button if you're interested, and it should be in a link at Linsole by the time I put this video up. Yeah, wrecked. The biggest decision you have to make is green or the red or the purple. The purple is actually really dope. They're all nice. They got that sparkly thing going on underneath. I'm sorry. Let me not leave blue out here. Yeah. Decisions. Like super awesome jelly beans with little speakers in them. Nice stuff. Very surprised that Kiwi Ears is involved with this. I didn't imagine they were going to be releasing a $35 set. Let's talk about some music. Okay, let's talk about some music. Let's take a look at the graph one more time before we continue. It is a nice sub-bass, mid-bass glide down to the mids at about 300. Nice and flat. Gets to the gain region. It's very slow and steady. Again, like the Elysian Acoustic X and a lot of other sets. Peaks at 3 kilohertz. It's got really, really nice tuning. It comes in red, blue, purple, or green. It's built with a hard type of resin. I thought it was more expensive than actually what it was, so I was a little nervous when I asked them. Let's go ahead and start with sub bass using stuff like Roland 808 or a deck mixed type hits with Radiohead, Packed Like Sardines in a Crushed in Box, Tupacalypse, Now album, a track called Violent, Massive Attack, Angel, Big Boy Kill Jill. The low frequency rumble that comes from hits like that is fine. It's present. It's really nice, actually. I cannot believe that this stuff costs this price. There's such a massive shift in this hobby in the past 12 months with the quality that you get for the price that you get. It's crazy. A few years ago, you do a review and then, this next one's good, and people are like, oh, of course it is because it's new. Of course it is, and you're a hype person. Actually, in the past 12 months, there's been a lot of stuff around $20 and $50 and that range that is legit actually getting really good more and more. It's quite impressive. So the low frequency rumble is really good. The mid bass using stuff like Sultans of Swing or bass guitar focus. Black Sabbath, Violent Femmes. The mid bass is perfect. This is it might be related to the beryllium driver. The bass sounds present. The plucks and releases of the bass strings sound nice and snappy. They sound good. The drums, move to the drums now. John Bonham and Neil Peart. It's hitting clear. It's natural. It's not overly emphasized. The kick drum on Led Zeppelin's 4th album sounds prominent like it's supposed to, but it never sounds like it's really getting in the way or over domineering like something with a lot of bass would have. This just sounds like it's tuned actually really well. As we move into vocals, Fleetwood Mac, Chris Cornell, Madonna, ELO, Mr. Blue Sky. This is the female singers from Heart, the Wilson sisters. Vocals sound really, really nice on this set. The way that they tuned it, that peak at 3K, the energy in the mid bass is not slightly distorting female vocals. It sounds nice. Male vocals sound damn near perfect. There's nothing to pick out. Let's get to one last thing, which would be the harmonics for a string section, a classic Vivaldi. You can apply this to Tchaikovsky, Verdi, or anything that you listen to. I listen to Vivaldi, Piano Concerto No. 1, in E major, G minor, F major. Harmonics sound natural. They've got a very pleasant kind of tonality to them. They sound kind of musical, but it doesn't seem like it's coming from a place of warmth. It's just a nice replay. This set came out of nowhere. I was going to release a set called the Maca for $35, which is what this price is, and my plans are, I don't know what's going to happen now. It is what it is. This is the hobby. Get off the pot or do something. And I hesitated. I got other collabs coming, so it's not a big deal. But this is a legit excellent set. The tuning is really good. The sound quality is great. It's $35. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Nothing to jump out. It does not have too much mid bass that it affects female vocals. It is not prematurely rolled off, giving a sense of lack of space. Cymbal strikes, upper harmonics of instruments, glockenspiels, some electric guitar with distortion pedals. None of it sounds subdued. It sounds natural. It's got that cascading waterfall type of profile in the treble that doesn't fall away. It just slowly drops away, like the harmonics fall away from anything from a knock on a table to a strike on a cymbal. They peak and then they fall away. And this tuning treats that really nice. Totally blown. this wasn't a set that had been mentioned to me, really. When I got it, I thought these 4 were different sets maybe, so I graphed them all, but they all came out the same. Reached out and said, how much are these and what is the configuration? It's a beryllium driver, beryllium coated driver, and it's $35. And I thought, okay, well, goodbye Maka for someday maybe, just as like a legacy release or something, but this is a better set. So highly recommended. Does everything in my library very nice. It's $35. What a crazy hobby, in a good way. And I'm out.